we've replaced the old female script with a new script about empowerment and independence. We've torn up the old male script, protector, provider, breadwinner, and we've replaced it with absolutely nothing.
So we give, rightly so, we pursue women being able to control their own reproduction. You now have this breakdown in what is the male role. And I think that that's the thing that lurks behind the scenes in terms of what's going wrong for men. You remove these barriers for women. Amazing. They're able to control their reproduction. Amazing. They go into the workforce, to your point about getting access to all that talent, not wanting to leave anything on the sidelines. However, it's broken the way that religion and the family transmitted a set of values that said, this is everybody's role, this is what you do, and this is how you please God. Everybody understands what their role is. There are some frustrations, obviously. But as that narrative breaks down, because to a woman, it's like, there's nothing you can do. God has touched you with this blessing of being able to create a child. To have children is to honor God. And what a magical role that you play. Man, you are here to protect your family, to provide for your family, and that is how you honor God. Okay, cool. Like, everybody knows what they're supposed to do.
This conversation between Tom Bilyeu and Richard Reeves is rehashing a subject that has been spoken, if not argued about, for decades. In a modern environment where women are beginning to have almost equal parity with men in the workplace, how do you deal with new sets of roles, not just in defining the new sets of roles, but in particular, getting each other, and particularly young women, to accept new roles on the behalf of men?
You make progress, and religion starts to diminish in certainly Western culture in terms of people following those precepts in order to live the good life. So not as many people are living in accordance with the teachings of the religions. You begin to have a breakdown of what is my role. And so I will put the question to you this way: given the second and third order consequences of that breakdown, is it actually progress to try to eliminate all these barriers to entry and make sure that women and men have maximum flexibility? Is that actually advantageous?
Accompanying the progress that women have made in the workplace and socially, something else has crept up on us.
Why shouldn't a woman go 50% with a man?
Because the man, they want that 100% respect, but you're doing 50-50. You can't get 100% respect or that title of, you know, the man of the household when your woman is doing 50%. What are you providing? Nothing.
We have a 50-50 type of relationship.
We don't.
I help with the rent.
You don't. You don't know how much it is.
$10.
If you are in a relationship with a man and you're going 50-50 on the bills, that is your roommate. These men be wanting women to be submissive to them, but they don't want to take the role of being a man and being a provider.
So I took you shopping, got you all this stuff, and you couldn't just buy me food?
Are you giving me some?
Bro, you couldn't just get me some food, though?
Are you giving me some?
You got me a cup of water. You ain't getting nothing from me. Never again.
I got all of that already.
A data point that struck me recently is that actually men are now more likely than women to say that getting married and having kids is important to them.
Yup.
You talked about the rise of women in two important ways. One in terms of control of fertility, and the second in terms of kind of control of economic destiny because of the rise of economic power for women. And you said amazing, 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 and then you said, however. What does that mean about the change in roles? What does it mean for the roles of men, etc.? And the amazing however move that you just made there is what's been lacking. And that there's a real resistance to the idea that you can have changes in society that are on net amazing, but that still have second or third order consequences, which can be challenging, difficult.
We are expecting the largest gender electoral gap in history because all women under 30 are way more liberal than men under 30. One of the contributors to that is They are much more likely to have attended college than the men. For every 1 degree that a man earns, 2 women earn a degree. In many, I've said this before, in many cities across the country, particularly major metropolitan areas, women under 30 are out earning men under 30. And women under 30 are much more likely to be single than older millennials and Gen X and up.
It's the ultimate cultural naivety to think that massive social and economic changes don't come, you don't break some glass along the way, right? And you have to deal with the negative consequences of even overall positive social changes. There's a kind of blindness to that, which is a real problem. And in this case, what's happened is that the sense of what the roles were, that's just been absolutely transformed incredibly quickly. The more I've thought about this, the deeper I think this transformation really goes since the 60s and the 70s. So since the changes in ability to control fertility you've mentioned, and the economic rise of women. So just to put a point, it's like 40% of women today in the US earn more than the average man. So that's not 50%, it's not full equality, but that compares to 13% of women in 1979. And so just since 1979, you know, the chances of a woman earning more than the average man has almost quadrupled, has tripled.
But all married people are more likely to vote for the Republican Party. And now that the United States is filled with childless cat ladies.
Although in a modern environment, young ladies have gained near parity in terms of earnings and in the workplace, what they're looking for in their mates has not changed very much. They're looking to marry up still. They're looking for someone that makes more money than they do. And on the other end, what men are running into is when they were previously looking for someone like,
and my man, thank you to my man.
Now they're confronted more and more with a new word called,
hey, well, check this out, I'm Alina's cousin, partner.
What's up, partner? Heard you got my boy Toothpick girlfriend pregnant, partner.
The emergence of the word partner has come to color the discourse between relationships now, where young ladies want an equal partner on an emotional level, but when things come to the finances, then things get a bit more dicey.
If y'all are going 50-50 or a man asks you to go 50-50, he doesn't think you're the type of woman that he needs to impress. It also means that he thinks you're desperate enough to go for that because he thinks he's the prize.
Many young ladies are not looking to go 50-50, but they're looking for 50-50 in other places, and the rules have just gotten all muddled up.
The result of that has been, I think, to just completely upend the traditional scripts. The scripts that were provided, sure, by religion, but I think more importantly in this case by a kind of family role. So my dad, like, he knew his role. Right? He was all kinds of things, but he knew his basic core role was economic provider. That was his core role. And my mum knew her core role, which was to raise the kids and be the main person on the domestic front. She also worked. They had an incredibly equal relationship. But it was an equal relationship based on almost unquestioned roles, right? They, as you said, they knew their role. I think what's happened is that we've expanded the script for women. We've said, let's tear up this old script of wife and mother and replace it with a new script of you can be whatever you want to be, right? The sky's the limit. Massive empowerment, a hugely positive message of empowerment. You go, girl, you know, etc. And that has just, I think, been wonderful to watch. And so what we've said to girls and women effectively is like, you're not trapped by the old script that your mums or grandmoms had. You can be anything. We've replaced the old female script with a new script about empowerment and independence. We've torn up the old male script, protector, provider, breadwinner, and we've replaced it with absolutely nothing. There is no new script. There is no new role.
One of my friends asked me what I think about a 50-50 relationship, and my answer is just no. I feel like the healthy split is anywhere between 70-30 and 80-20. I think as a girl, you want your man to like want to take care of you and like want to provide for you. You know, I feel like as a girl, there's just so many like sacrifices you have to take, and guys naturally just have so much more privilege.
And now we have way more Hillarys, we have way more Taylor Swifts, and they ain't got no man. We see the white women on TikTok crying in their cars because they can't find husbands, the way that we see the black women crying in the cars on TikTok because they can't find husbands.
In an environment where the roles are in flux and young ladies are not only politically moving in a manner that is best for them as single individuals without thinking about the role of family down the road, because many of them aren't even planning on making families, but you also have collateral damage like this young lady who is a high achieving young lady, but what she's looking for in the counterpart is simply not available in a large quantity because, quite simply, no one is thinking about what the men want, because what most men want is not, keyword, partners.
I'm 31. I don't have any kids. I got a credit score of 803 exact. Recently pulled. I have 2 paid off cars. I'm about to close on my first house this year in May. I'm not toxic at all. I got a big booty. I'm releasing an app on iOS and Android. I work hard as I'm not clingy, but I'll always make sure my partner feels appreciated. Okay, so I don't cook, but I can learn. And it's not like I don't know how to cook, but I just don't cook as much as I should. I'm probably not as feminine as the average feminine female, but I wear heels, I dress up. I just feel like I have a very dominant personality. I'm 5'8" in my head, but 5'4" on paper. I've never actually lived with a partner before. I'm just trying to figure out, how am I not married with 5 kids running around? Like, what the fudge am I doing wrong? Most people say, oh, I don't give people a chance. Yes, I do. I have boundaries though, and I don't let people f me over. I'm gonna say more than 3 times because I give chances. I even give you a second chance. But it's so easy for me to just walk the f out once you start playing with me. But I still don't understand how I'm still single.
I think we're in this really difficult transition phase now. And what I would say is that there's a real difficult balance now because a lot of people are hearkening back to the era when we knew our role, we knew our place, when things were clearer. You know, when we had institutions telling us what to do, and the hankering for that is real and in many cases noble, but it is I think it's ill-fated. Turning the clock back is not generally very successful. So I think by contrast, we should be going forward. We need to keep going, and we need to adjust our views about the role of men in accordance with the rise of women, rather than thinking that for men to rise, we need to kind of somehow turn back the clock on women. That is, in my view, not effective, but also immoral. So we are where we are, and right now we're in a really difficult moment, right? The average 27-year-old guy has much less of a clue about what he's supposed to be doing. He has a pretty good clue about what he's not supposed to do, interestingly. Now we do have a long list of don'ts for young men, but he has very little sense about what, as a man, he's supposed to do.
What guys like Richard Reeves have to understand about the modern dating and family formation landscape is that many young ladies are earning more money, and instead of being told to be more egalitarian and find someone on their level and make an equal partnership where they sacrifice some of the things that they may not want to do because a man is sacrificing some of the things that he was wanting in not a partner but a wife, then you're just going to get more of the same. High achieving young ladies who are looking ever upward for a higher achieving man to only want her. And in an environment where everyone is moving towards an equal playing field, it's just fewer men up there. And you just have more unhappy women. And in the political arena, it just means more single women voting in their own best interest instead of in the interest of, say, families or the families that they would have in the future. And it's just something that's going to fall in on itself. I'm not saying that young ladies need to go backwards, but what I am saying is that someone needs to sit young ladies down and tell them if they do not adjust what they want in a mate in these particular countries, what you're going to get is more passport bros, more SYSBM guys, and more guys simply saying, if I can't do this partner thing, then I'll just scrap the partner thing and go somewhere where I can be the man and I can find a wife. Absent that discussion with young ladies, I don't know how you're going to solve the problem, because guys don't want partners. Most of us anyways. Thanks for watching, like, subscribe, comment below. I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.